What if the quality of your erection today had been decided the moment you took your first sip of coffee this morning? Most men over 60 think erections depend on desire or energy, but as a doctor, I can tell you that the real driver is circulation. And the first minutes after waking are the moment when your body chooses whether that circulation will be strong or weak. If your penis feels slow, heavy, or unresponsive in the morning, it is not a lack of interest. It is a lack of blood flow. Your body wakes up in layers. Your brain wakes up first. Your breathing follows. Your heart rate increases. But the blood vessels in your pelvic region, especially those feeding the penis, are the last to respond. They remain tight from the night, resistant to opening, and slow to deliver pressure. That delay alone is enough to weaken your erection. And here is where your morning coffee becomes more important than you think. Coffee stimulates the nervous system, but it does not directly stimulate the vessels that allow blood to enter the erectile chambers. So while your mind becomes alert, your circulation down there can remain stuck in sleep mode. This mismatch explains why many older men feel awake but not responsive sexually. However, when you add a natural ingredient with vascular effects to your coffee, everything changes. The heat of the coffee increases absorption. The caffeine accelerates circulation. And the compound you add provides the chemical signal your blood vessels are missing, the signal that tells them to open. This combination reaches the pelvic region at exactly the right time, when the vessels are trying to wake up but cannot open on their own. With the added ingredient, they open faster. Blood flows sooner. And the erectile chambers receive pressure before the morning window closes. Before we continue, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss the next steps. And comment the word morning flow if you want your erections to react faster, or trying if you will add this to your coffee tomorrow. If your erection feels weak in the morning, the explanation is almost always the same: your blood vessels are waking up too slowly. After the age of 60, the circulatory system takes longer to leave its nighttime state. Your heart begins pumping earlier, your breathing becomes deeper, but the vessels that supply the penis remain the last ones to react. They stay narrow, cool, and resistant at a moment when they should be opening wide. This delay matters. Erections depend not on desire, but on timing. Blood must arrive quickly and with enough pressure for the erectile chambers to expand. If the vessels hesitate, the response weakens. This is why you may feel awake, mentally alert, even energized after your first sip of coffee, yet still notice that the penis remains soft. The brain wakes up, but the circulation down there is still behind. This is where adding the right ingredient to your coffee creates such a difference. The heat of the coffee opens the capillaries in your stomach and speeds up absorption. The caffeine raises your heart rate and pushes blood faster through the arteries. And the compound you add provides the exact chemical signal that aging vessels no longer produce efficiently on their own, the signal to relax. When these three effects happen at the same time, your pelvic vessels stop resisting. They open instead of tightening. They allow blood to move downward sooner. And because this happens during the first minutes of your day, your erectile chambers receive the pressure they need while they're still highly responsive. Many older men describe this shift as a sudden warmth or a sense of life returning to the base of the penis. These sensations are not imagination, they are signs that your circulation finally woke up with the rest of your body. If this explanation helped you understand why your morning routine influences your erection so much, take a moment to like this video. It supports the channel and helps this information reach more men who need it. To understand why adding a single ingredient to your coffee can influence your erection within minutes, you need to look at what happens in your bloodstream right after you wake up. During the night, circulation slows dramatically. Your vessels tighten, your body temperature drops, and your blood flow becomes shallow and conservative. This is normal. But after 60, the vessels do not rebound as quickly as they used to. The first substance you consume in the morning has a major influence on how fast your circulatory system switches back on. Coffee alone boosts alertness, but it does not directly target the smooth muscle inside your blood vessels. That smooth muscle is what controls whether a vessel stays narrow or widens enough to carry blood toward the penis with real pressure. When you add the right ingredient to your coffee, its bioactive compounds enter the bloodstream during the exact moment your body is trying to increase circulation. These compounds interact with the endothelial cells, encouraging them to release nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels. Without nitric oxide, the vessels stay tight, and blood struggles to reach the erectile chambers. The advantage of combining the ingredient with coffee is speed. The heat from the drink improves absorption, while caffeine accelerates the distribution of the compounds through your bloodstream. This means the ingredient reaches the pelvic region far faster than it would on its own. As blood flow improves, one of the first places that reacts is the base of the penis. The vessels there are dense, sensitive, and directly connected to the erectile chambers. When they open, blood begins entering the corpora cavernosa, increasing pressure and preparing them to expand. Many men describe this as a subtle pulse or a deep internal warmth. These sensations mean the ingredient did exactly what your aging vessels could not do by themselves: respond quickly to your body's morning activation. To understand how this ingredient turns an ordinary cup of coffee into a circulation-boosting morning tool, you need to focus on the biochemical reaction it triggers inside your blood vessels. Every artery and vein, including those that supply the penis, is lined with endothelial cells. These cells behave like tiny sensors. They decide when a vessel should stay narrow and when it should open, allowing blood to move with force. After the age of 60, these sensors become sluggish. They don't release nitric oxide as quickly as they used to, and without nitric oxide, the vessel walls remain tight. Tight vessels cannot deliver the pressure the erectile chambers depend on. That's why your penis may feel slow, soft, or unresponsive even when your body is fully awake. The ingredient you add to your coffee contains natural compounds that directly stimulate these endothelial cells. Once absorbed, these compounds activate the enzymes responsible for producing nitric oxide. This is the key. Nitric oxide tells the smooth muscle in your vessel walls to relax. When the muscle relaxes, the vessel expands. And when the vessel expands, blood flow increases immediately. The magic happens in the timing. Because you consumed the ingredient during your first increase in circulation, the vessels open exactly when your heart is beginning to pump faster. Instead of fighting against tight, aging arteries, your morning blood flow now has a clear path downward. In the pelvic region, this shift is even more dramatic. The vessels that feed the erectile chambers are small, dense, and extremely sensitive to nitric oxide. When they relax, even a small increase in pressure creates a noticeable difference. Blood begins entering the corpora cavernosa sooner. Pressure rises earlier. The chambers prepare to expand with far less resistance. Men often describe the effect as a gradual buildup of internal warmth or a sensation of weight at the base of the penis. These feelings are signs that the erectile system is receiving the signal it has been missing, the instruction to open and let blood move. To understand what happens inside your penis once the vessels finally open, imagine the erectile chambers as two long, flexible compartments waiting for pressure. These chambers, the corpora cavernosa, do not create firmness by themselves. They rely entirely on the amount of blood they receive and how quickly they receive it. When the morning ingredient you added to your coffee begins circulating, the effect inside these chambers becomes almost immediate. As the vessels supplying the penis relax, they deliver blood with more force and speed. The first noticeable change is internal temperature. Blood is warmer than the tissue it enters, and when it reaches the corpora cavernosa, the chambers begin to heat from the inside out. This warmth is not superficial, it is the clearest sign that the erectile system is activating. Next comes expansion. Inside each erectile chamber are tiny pockets called lacunae. When blood enters, these pockets stretch like the surface of a balloon. In younger men, this process happens instantly. But after 60, stiff chamber walls delay expansion. The morning ingredient interrupts this stiffness. By improving blood flow at the exact moment circulation rises naturally, it gives the chambers no choice but to open. As these pockets stretch, they create pressure against the surrounding tissue. This pressure compresses the veins responsible for draining blood from the penis. Once those veins narrow, the blood entering the chambers becomes temporarily trapped. Trapped blood equals firmness. This mechanical trapping is the secret behind every strong erection, regardless of age. Many older men describe this stage as a feeling of weight at the base of the penis, as if something inside is beginning to push outward. That sensation is the erectile chambers regaining their ability to hold pressure. When this happens consistently, the penis stops depending on chance and begins responding predictably to your morning routine. This is not a trick or a temporary boost. It is your erectile tissue behaving the way it was designed to behave when circulation finally cooperates. One of the most powerful, and least discussed, effects of improving morning blood flow is how quickly the pelvic region begins to synchronize with the rest of your circulatory system. After 60, the arteries in your legs, pelvis, and lower abdomen often wake up slower than the arteries in your chest and brain. This creates an imbalance. Your upper body feels alert, your mind feels awake, yet the vessels supplying your penis are still operating as if you were asleep. Adding the right ingredient to your coffee corrects this imbalance by forcing the pelvic circulation to wake up at the same pace as your central circulation. As the nutrient enters your bloodstream, it doesn't choose where to act, it follows the natural flow of your circulation. The moment your heart rate rises from the caffeine, the compound is pushed downward through the abdominal arteries in stronger pulses. Each pulse carries more of the active molecules to the vessels surrounding the erectile chambers. This synchronization is crucial. Erections require pressure, and pressure requires timing. If the central circulation rises but the pelvic circulation stays behind, the erectile chambers never receive the force they need to expand. But when both systems rise together, the penis becomes one of the first places to feel the improved blood flow. Many men describe this stage as a deep ignition, not arousal, but the feeling that something inside the pelvis is turning back on. A warmth spreads across the lower abdomen. A soft throbbing emerges at the base of the penis. These sensations indicate that the pelvic vessels are finally reacting at the correct speed. What surprises most men is that this coordination can return in a matter of days. Once the vessels relearn the morning rhythm, they begin opening faster on their own. The ingredient becomes a guide, not a crutch. And from this point forward, every improvement you feel, warmth, fullness, faster response, is a sign that your circulatory system is behaving the way it was always meant to. By the time your pelvic vessels begin responding at the same rhythm as your morning circulation, one final and essential part of the erection process comes back online, the neural reflex. Erections are not just about blood. They depend on a coordinated signal between your nerves and your vascular system. And for many men over 60, this communication weakens, not because the nerves are damaged, but because they've been understimulated for years. Once your blood flow improves consistently, the nerves surrounding the base of the penis begin receiving stronger, clearer signals. Oxygen and nutrients reach them more efficiently. This increased nourishment allows the nerves to fire faster. And when these nerves fire, they trigger the reflex that tells the erectile chambers to open fully and maintain pressure. Most men describe this as a sudden sense of sensitivity returning, a sharper awareness of the pelvic area, even without direct touch. Others notice that their penis begins to respond the moment warmth and pressure rise, as if the reflex has been waiting to activate. This is exactly what is happening. Circulation reawakens the nerves, and the nerves reawaken the erection reflex. The result is a synchronized system where blood flow, vascular relaxation, and neural activation all occur in the correct order. Pressure enters the chambers. The chambers expand. The veins narrow to trap the flow. And firmness becomes not an occasional surprise, but a predictable reaction each morning. The most encouraging part is this: once the reflex returns, it becomes easier to maintain. The more frequently the erectile chambers fill with blood, the more elastic and responsive they become. The more often the nerves activate, the faster they fire next time. Your body adapts even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. This is why the combination of coffee, circulation, and the right ingredient creates such an immediate effect. It does not fight against age. It works with your biology, restoring the sequence the body was always designed to follow. If you watched this video all the way to the end, it tells me you are genuinely committed to improving your circulation and restoring stronger, more reliable erections in a natural way. Before you leave, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you stay connected to every step of this journey. And since you reached the final minute, comment one word below: restarting. This tells me you understand how your body can relearn its natural rhythm, and that you're ready to make that change happen. If this explanation helped you understand your erection and your circulation more clearly, take a moment to like this video. It supports the channel and helps other men find the same guidance. And your next step is right here. The video appearing on your screen continues this process and takes you even deeper into restoring healthy blood flow and natural firmness. Watch it now and keep moving forward.